Welcome everyone to Arsenal Los Angeles YouTube channel. Man, we had a tough game today, 2-1 loss to Wolves, but we're back with a post-match interviews. And that in mind, we're going to bring on Max. He's a Florida native, but out here in Los Angeles. So we're going to hear from him first. Tell us what you think in the comment, and please like, share, subscribe. It really helps us out. Thanks again. Thank you for watching. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome today. This is Arsenal Los Angeles YouTube channel. I am your host, Logan. We are here with Max. Max, tell us a little bit about where you're from, where you're at, where you're watching today.
I'm from St. Petersburg, Florida, just like you.
Right on, right on.
Yeah, I've been an Arsenal fan for a long time. I live in Los Angeles. I work in the TV business, where I'm very grateful to be working from home and able to watch today's game, for better or for worse. Yeah, just soccer nerd. I coach soccer on the weekends too. If anyone is, in Valley Village and you have a kid that you want to make good at soccer sometime.
Hey, all right, there you go. We'll have to drop that in the comments for sure today. So getting right to the game, what did you think of the first half? I mean, what did you think of the way that we were playing when we actually did have a chance?
Yeah. So the first half, I think, really flattered us. It's really funny the way, we spent 70 million on the right winger and had a brilliant left winger from our academy, and now the left winger is playing on the right and the right winger is playing on the left. I don't know about you guys. I really like Bukayo on the right. He came so close to scoring, goal of the season. He got unlucky with that offside call. And I think having him play on the right has really helped us avoid this situation of the left side overload, where you have Tierney and Bukayo being, really dangerous on the left side and, really blunt on the right side. So I thought we played really well. Wolves created very little. The score line at halftime really flattered them. We played well. We had good chances. Pepe scored, a brilliant goal. Right up until that, drama at halftime, I really don't think we could complain too much.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. I can't agree more. It's really interesting that we've been able to move around players and put them in positions where we actually just kind of gel and flow much better. I love seeing Saka on the right, Pepe on the left. I think, man, it could have been so different. It could have been so different had Saka scored that intro a minute in. I mean, it was good to see, but it just really wound up biting us in the end. Just missing that opportunity, that just kind of seems to be the form of late, as we've missed a lot of opportunities to move ahead, especially with the Manchester United game. Chances came to bite us again, the Lacazette free kick. But today, certainly the Saka goal, that sticks out. Pepe played great. That was good to see him have some consistency.
Yeah, totally. And, I think it's easy to rue these missed chances, but I think it was not that long ago. It was only December where it felt like we couldn't create any chances per game. The problem for us was not failure to finish; it was failure to create. And so I think you can take a lot of positivity. See, for me, it's really not about this season anymore. I would love it if we snuck into top 4 or snuck into top 6. But there's a lot of teams between us and that, like points wise, we don't look far away, but there's a lot of teams because there's a lot of parity this season.
Oh yeah.
And so it's, for me, I'm looking at it less about, points dropped, because it would take really kind of an unprecedented collapse from someone like Leicester or Southampton, who are having good seasons, to get up into that. So I would love to see us climb the table, but really I'm just happy to see us just playing a more even game, spreading out our attacking threat instead of overloading one side. Mikel has wanted to transition to a back four for a long time, and it looks like he's able to do that competently. And so I think you can take a lot of positivity from, we're doing things successfully that we were not doing successfully before. We are creating chances without Kieran Tierney. We are playing well, mostly with David Luiz in a back four, and he's always been shaky in a back four.
See that? I agree.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago, it felt like we had to play our best 11 to win any game. And now it feels like, like you still we're still in the tough spot when we don't have everyone, but we don't look like completely in free fall when we lose Bukayo or lose Kieran Tierney, or we've been, without Aubameyang
Yeah,
for however many games. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. I think the positive to take away is just the development that we're getting into with Mikel. You can see that we're getting into his system and starting to play out of the back. You can see that we're really able to move and feel. I don't feel as shaky when we move out of the back anymore. It doesn't seem like I'm concerned with the way that we're passing. The midfield too. I think Partey and Xhaka played great today, leading up to the red card at the second half. They really did some a great job just tackling, decision making, passing the ball around, trying to find those balls over the back of the defenders with Saka and Pepe running into them. Those are definitely positives to take away. And moving on from that, I think we got robbed. I think the referee changed the entire game with the decision that he did to just send off David. I think it was very harsh. He was already making harsh decisions with the yellow cards he was choosing even against us with Wolves. So I don't think it was something that was particularly uneven, but the red card was just way harsh, man. He jumped the gun. Didn't seem like he cared to look too much into it at the VAR table. Poor decision.
If he had done, it is one of the most bizarre and inexcusable decisions I have seen ever. And if he had done, it's funny, in 2018, I was like, VAR seems great. It works so well at the World Cup because they have the pitch side monitor. And then you have now, it's their choice whether they look at the pitch side monitor or not. So you have a referee being like, did I make a mistake? No, I don't think so. And so there's no, it's almost like a conflict of interest. And I think, the other problem you have, and this, I don't know if I was the only one that got really into the Bundesliga this summer when it was the only soccer being played. But England is like famous for this. You would watch a Bundesliga game, and I even heard a German announcer say at one point someone had been fouled, and the announcer was like, "Oh, that's a foul. Maybe in England it's not a foul, but that's a foul." Like I remember hearing that. They're famous for this, and
the FA is ridiculous.
The
association's crazy.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, and you see this with it's not even about. They follow the letter of the law so closely, and they don't ask themselves what the laws are for. So you have these rules that are really, in theory, there to protect players from injuries, and then the refs are just enforcing the rules. They're not enforcing the spirit of the rules. And so if, it's like technically because Luiz makes contact without playing the ball, it's a red card. If he does make contact and attempts to play the ball, even if he breaks the guy's ankles, then it's a yellow card. So it's bizarre. This is a rule that's designed to disincentivize, a dangerous tackle. But the way you have it end up is that if he had done the dangerous tackle, he would have gotten a yellow and he would have been able to stay on. So it's just, it's a complete mess. And it's I wouldn't even put it down to VAR. VAR isn't helping. It is making it worse. But I think at the end of the day, the FA needs to see this is a game. We can change the rules if they're not suiting us.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely think that's something that'll have to be addressed. You wish that they could address these mid-season. I'm not sure if they can. Maybe they do, but I would like to see some change happen because it really is becoming. There are many rules. The handball rule too, just with it touching you. With some players, where they're, you can't jump. You can't jump without moving your body in certain ways.
Exactly. If you ever played, that it's not practical to keep in mind. Like you cannot play this game with your hands tied behind your back.
No, you can't.
That's not how movement works. That's not how balance works. And I would argue that also creates injury situations. Where you are self-conscious about where your hands are and maybe you fall off balance. And then you also have
are how old too? They're 20 years old and they have to completely re-engineer how they think the game works. I'm sorry, but that's going to take time for anyone, but I think it's a ridiculous rule to implement.
And so a friend of mine asked me, he was like, do you think Mikel Arteta should go full Jose Mourinho mode and just flame everybody in the press conference? And I'm no fan of I'm no fan of Mourinho, but I really think coaches and people giving press conferences should take the referees to task for this stuff. Like Pep used to do it all the time. He would say, like, referees, protect your players, please. I got very mad last season when Neil Maupay jumped into Bernd Leno while he was
Yeah.
midair, messed up the guy's knee. And afterwards, in the press conference, Mikel was like, "Oh well, he didn't mean to do it." Like, no, I want to see some anger because
Yeah.
stuff only changes
Gotta
when
stick up for your players, and I feel like that translates too onto the field. When you stick up for your players as a coach like that, and you go to bat for them, I feel like that really does. That would make people want to work for you that much harder. Be like, wow, he respects me.
Yeah.
He does want our safety and the best for us.
Yeah, exactly. And I felt,
Do you think he
disheartened to
walked
see.
on eggshells? Do you think? I mean, I feel like he's walked on eggshells this whole time. He's had so much to deal with. I don't feel like we've seen the real Mikel Arteta. Maybe
Yeah.
COVID. Maybe it is just how hard the board has their
Mhm.
thumb on our managers. But yeah, it's interesting
Yeah. I think,
because you see passion on the sideline.
yeah, exactly. You see so much passion on the sideline, and
You know?
that, like, in the locker room that he's like, his head is on fire, that
Yeah,
he's an
for sure.
intense guy. And I think, I mean, it's part of the bigger question about how to behave during press conferences. Unai Emery was very bad during press conferences. He was a bad communicator.
Uh-huh.
And I think that affected people's perception of his coaching.
For
Mikel
sure.
Arteta is a very good communicator. And sometimes when we were, I think, performing badly, a lot of people were like, "Oh, but Mikel is so good in the press conference." So they can have a lot of sway. And I think, I think when it comes to things like player injuries, they should absolutely be talking about that in the post-match press conference. The referees are not protecting the players,
Yeah,
and
for
I don't
sure.
know. And Mikel isn't blameless here. Mikel, last time we played Wolves, left David Luiz in there with a concussion and put him on a free kick.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
so it's such a broader problem. I don't see how it gets fixed anytime soon, to be honest, but I wish it would.
Certainly. Well, we're going to move on from that. We got a couple minutes left on this. I want to go ahead and talk about the second half specifically. I mean, playing a man down, I really thought that we had a couple chances moving forward. There was the chance later on also when we had 9 men after Leno just the absolute howler. I mean, we were having such a bad time already. This game just became disastrous as soon as Leno put the handball on. I mean, like, come on, man.
Yeah,
come on, bro. You couldn't have tried to kick it at first.
Yeah, that was Claudio Bravo-esque. No good.
God, it was just horrible to watch. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's just kind of like how this season has been. It's like, even though we've been in recent form, it just seems like we can't escape these kind of mistakes or these kind of games where we lose by 1 goal. And we really have no one to blame but ourselves. We really don't. We played well, but I mean, the referee, we can blame that all day, but losing Leno, that really killed us. And I mean, I believe we could have brought on an Odegaard for Smith at that point, or, really to get some more creativity because Smith was gassed. Put on Aubameyang as well for Pepe, and that could have been the game. We could have maybe came back and tied it. But
I think so too.
Thoughts on that?
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, before today, I've had a lot of respect for Wolves. I think they've done a really impressive job. They basically came straight into the top flight and have been challenging for Europe basically every year they've been in the top flight.
Yeah, they're a good squad.
But today, they simply were not good. They have not been good without Raul Jimenez. They've really been struggling to create chances. And I think, if I were Wolves, I would not be happy that the score was only 2-1 when we had a 2-man advantage, 3-man advantage if you count the ref. Am I right? Yeah. So it's I really think there was a chance. I mean, look, the Moutinho goal was, I believe, unstoppable. If you do what you usually do when you are playing with a man down and you revert to a low block and try to kill them on the counter, even that doesn't prevent the Moutinho goal. It was just too good. But I do, I think we definitely imploded. I think you're right. Smith Rowe definitely looked tired. I think he was, Lacazette isn't that good in those situations where you're dependent a lot on transition. So I saw the logic in it. But yes, I think Pepe is extremely key in moments in the type of game that you're trying to win on the counter. So I didn't see why Pepe came off.
Yeah, especially with Aubameyang being just like so out of form. I mean, he hasn't been in practice for weeks. Why would you on so soon?
Yeah, and I'm pretty
good to see him and all, but
it was good to see him. I think we still fashioned some good chances, and I also think again if we have Tierney, we're much more threatening because we are much better at putting those crosses in the air than Wolves are. I think, but to be honest with you, I think this is just one of those bizarre outlier games that I really would not read too much into. I think Bernd Leno made a bizarre mistake, but he never does that. He's been brilliant this season. He's been like one of our few post-Wenger transfers that I think has just been a complete success.
He's been a pillar.
Yeah, and he's also, I think, he's not used to performing a sweeper keeper role. As you pointed out, we play out from the back a lot. We've gotten very good at playing out from the back a lot. And
he wants to try and copy Neuer too. I feel like every German goalkeeper wants to be that similar kind of sweeper keeper, but
that's
not that.
Yeah, and that's not what we've been doing under Mikel. Under Mikel, we have been playing. We've been playing with. He usually has a triangle of players right in front of him to pass to. He's not used to being that deserted. Obviously, when you're down to 10 men and you're chasing the game, it's a different thing. I think it was just a weird fluke. He misjudged the bounce, and it was bad luck. And you know what? If that's going to happen, I would rather it happen in a game that we're already most likely to lose. So I wouldn't. I mean, it's definitely a question mark. I believe we're without Leno for one game. We're without Luis for one game. And so I think this should only affect the Aston Villa game. There was a lot of talk about Runnerson being terrible. I didn't think he looked bad at all.
He didn't look bad, but he's still young. I think he's got to develop,
Definitely. I would prefer that Matt Ryan be fit for Aston Villa, but
he'll be able to, though. He's still injured.
Yeah. I think, with Aston Villa, I don't think the loss of Bernd Leno or David Luiz, I don't think it'll make or break that game. I think
they're playing so well. Grealish, Calvin or Grealish and what's the other striker?
Ollie Watkins.
Yeah.
They're absolutely on fire.
Emmy.
And it'll be good to see Emmy again. I'm really happy that Emmy is succeeding, by the way. I think he's had a perfect story. It's going to be a tough one. We were abysmal against them last time out.
3-0 at home.
With Ainsley Maitland-Niles going out on loan, I think it's the right move. But kind of the perfect Ainsley Maitland-Niles game is something like Aston Villa, where you can just attach him to Grealish the whole time, and just have him put him in those 1v1 situations against the one guy. He's going
to win this time.
Yeah. But it could go either way. I hope that we don't let this game throw us too much, because I really think it was almost like a weird perfect storm. I think there's still positives to draw. And I think when you take a step back and look at it, it's no longer about this season or the table or leapfrogging so-and-so. It's just about getting momentum and playing the way Mikel wants to play, so that in the summer we focus on the things we need to focus on. And and this is what was so difficult in the Unai Emery days, was that you can never really tailor a squad to what he wanted, because the squad was so different every week. He was putting out a different team every week. And so what I would really like to see from the rest of the season is, just positive patterns of play, fewer goals conceded, more goals scored, more chances created, stuff like that.
Right on.
And I'm a little bit less obsessive over the way the table itself looks, because I think Europe is a long shot this season.
Yeah, I hear that. All right, man. Well, Max, thank you very much for coming on, man. It's been a great time having you. Wish it was random circumstances, but
thank you so much for the invitation. I really appreciate the chance to come on.